for us in the show last week when we were in Edinburgh, coming live and featuring highlights of the Fringe there. Julian Cope, well, he didn't make it onto the show last week, but he was performing at the Fringe Club throughout the week from last Monday to, I believe he finished there on Sunday night. And the man described recently in the press as the mighty Mark Percival, Earshot's good friend, caught up with him backstage at the gig last Friday. Here we go.
The tour you're currently involved in is at the Highlands and Islands tour, and you've recently been to Ireland. I mean, what is the attraction of kind of the Irish-Scottish connection? Is there a special attraction for you?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's just the fact that there's no real Roman influence in terms of physical remains. The Romans didn't get there with the roads. Wherever the roads didn't get, the paranoia didn't really follow. I know that we had a tremendous amount of influence, external influence in any case, but I think that I'm seeing a different side. And I just find it just so much more refreshing to be out there. I got driven out of London, really. I became very paranoid. And while I can't handle it, then that's the only place that I want to be.
On this tour, you're pretty much playing by yourself, and there were rumours of a helper appearing on some of the Edinburgh shows. Has the helper appeared?
Only last night. Donald played last night, my producer, just for 2 songs. I like to do the shows on my own. I like to not have any help, really. It's more fun. It's a lot more fun than playing with a band. Like a different league of entertainment for me, just because it puts me on my toes. Maybe I'm doing it for selfish reasons, but I really just like to be out there and be able to stop a song any time I want and check the audience out, etc.
In what sense, check the audience out?
Get out there and see what the women look like, and see if there's any good-looking guys, just in case the women aren't very up to much.
Have you noticed the audience being different for this kind of tour from the sort of audiences you had? Because I've seen you a couple of times, and you've had sort of these guys down the front with their jackets leaping around to Trampoline or whatever, or Reynard the Fox. And but this is all an altogether more laid-back affair, I gather.
I wouldn't say that. It's the wildest gigs I've ever done were definitely in Shetland. I think the marked difference is that I'm not playing to fans up here. I'm playing to people who just want to come and see, the local turn. Whoever's in town, then we'll go. I played Invergordon last year, and they said, the manager said, oh, it's a good turnout. Same people who came for the troupe of comedians last week should be fine. So it's a good affair, really. It just means that I've got to be Mr. Entertainment as opposed to just being, some shoegazing loon. I think it's important when you get to a certain age. I've been doing this 15 years. I've got to have a certain amount of confrontation, I'll just become an old tosser.
There's always a danger of that, of course. How do you go about choosing a set?
I don't.
You don't?
No, I've got 36 songs typed on a piece of paper along my guitar, and I've got another 16 just written, and I still manage to run out all the time because, I don't know, you try and do as many different things, especially if a few people come to all the shows, so I want to give them a good choice. Normally I'll perform anything that anybody yells if I can physically perform it,
Have you ever been, requested to play something that you couldn't play?
Oh, loads, yeah, loads of them. A lot of them, songs that get taken away from me at an early stage. If I say to Donald, would you arrange this? Or if I've written it in a crap key that I have to completely change the key, then I may not even know the chords. Yeah, that's quite possible.
Have you ever wanted to be asked for a song? I mean, is there a song that you've wanted the crowds to ask you for that they haven't asked for yet?
No, it doesn't bother me. I'll foist it on them if they don't ask for it.
What happens if someone requests something like Reynard the Fox, which is one of my personal favourites? Obviously relies very much on the sound and light and the intensity of the noise rather than an acoustic type thing.
Just do it. No, I've done Reynard the Fox twice, live, solo. First time I did it on a very small electric guitar, and the second time I did it just without any instruments at all. And that was in Shetland, which was quite good, really, because they didn't have a clue who I was. So, it was fine.
How do you deal with, instrumental sections? I mean, do you, hum the guitar solos or something?
Yeah, Wild Math. Like, there's lots of raw math on Jehovah Kill, you know, all that stuff. It's like lots of raw math that's kind of... and lots of math synth, because I'm really into analog synth, but I can't play analog synth, so I just go... But there's a lot of that all over Jehovah Kill, and it's easily repeatable. Most of my stuff's easily repeatable. There's a lot of stomping on songs, you know, a lot of... and also all my stuff is played live in the studio. So it's always acoustic guitar through a wah-wah pedal. So when it comes to the solo, it's actually happening as it appears to happen. So there is a sense of moment, whatever.
Me. This is me.
The new album is actually very melodic. I'd say it's kind of poppy in a way.
All hit singles, perhaps?
No, I wouldn't say there's any hit singles. Even the one that I think does have a hit single, unfortunately refers to the inbred fucking and palace scum at the end.
Oh, Radio 1 will love that one.
Yeah. But I've been thinking about that as some kind of compromise, you know? Like the Stranglers on Peaches, how they went, oh no, instead of oh shit.
Well, it's interesting. The next question was a lyrics question. Right. A lot of the lyrics on Peggy's Suicide and Jehovah Kill cover very serious subject matter. I mean, are you likely to be writing songs along the lines of Robert Mitchum again at any point in your career?
I think so, yeah. I want to write an album of love songs as well. I've got a great new song that's very Bacharach and David called Baby Let's Play Vet. So yeah, definitely. I'll definitely get the coy flute out occasionally and the cor anglais and yeah, some diminished, flattened, whatever those chords are that make everybody go, oh right. But not at the moment though.
Yeah, I always think, I thought perhaps the last couple of albums there's a danger of people taking it very seriously and forgetting that you did a song called Space Hopper and holding on to your special feature and the like.
Well, I don't... You see, I think that I've just got to go with it at the moment. Like the next album's Autogeddon. It's called Autogeddon, based on the Autogeddon poem by Heathcote Williams. And it's very serious. But it's also pretty wild, you know? It's got some good... It sounds quite inbred in a way. It sounds like I've been shagging myself and those musicians are playing for me.
Which can't be bad.
No, not bad at all, actually.
I quite fancy that myself. A question I've always wanted to ask you, because the first time I saw Teardrop Explodes, in fact the first and only time I saw Teardrop Explodes, were when you were supporting Queen at the Ingliston Exhibition Centre outside of Edinburgh, which seemed like an absurd occasion to me.
It was an absurd occasion, yeah. It was quite a charmless affair.
I just wanted to ask me how it felt, because it was like me and about 6 people, to the best of my knowledge, and about 10,000 at You knew who you were. Yeah. Oh yeah, the Bay. There was like 6 of us and 10,000 of them.
It's very strange to be standing there and have guys so incensed that I was on the same stage, just like this. You're queer, I want to kill you, you're queer. And they think we're like, it's a 10-foot stage. I was thinking, Freddie's coming on in a minute, you know, don't be calling me a queer. Freddie's the actual queen of them all. There's nothing wrong with it, you know. I think what they meant was I was just a big nance, really, you know.
Of course, Freddie wasn't, was he?
Fred wasn't really a nance. He was a hard puff, you know. That's what I've become as I got older.
A hard puff. Another question that I've always wanted to ask you, pathetically, is about your toy collection. Have you got a favourite?
I have to say my toys have been in storage for a long while now. I haven't got room for them. My Austin J40 pedal car is my favourite, I think. Mainly because it's still out. I've got a few sexually active Barbies, which are quite good.
You're writing a book, I believe.
On ancient monuments?
Yes.
Yeah.
You want to tell us a little bit about that before we finish?
It's a guidebook, 220 Bronze Age and Neolithic sites in Britain, from Shetland down to the Scillies. Just a place to skin up and have a vibe of an afternoon. A non-archaeological jaunt around Britain.
So it's not really going to have the same sort of tone as the the official guide to big stones kind of thing?
No, it's not full of Judeo-Christian denial, if that's what you're asking. It's not, it wasn't the Druids. We don't know who it was, but it wasn't the Druids, all right? It's not that, no. It's, I don't care. It might be the little people as far as I'm concerned, you know.
Have you any idea when it's due to actually be available?
I think I've got another 8 months of field work. We've been to shitloads of monuments so far. There's so much there. It's mainly so that people can see that politically we're completely caned, but physically we're in great shape. So I figure when the government's not helping you, then you've just got to say Britain is a great place, and we don't all have to go to Ibiza to get out of it.
Excellent. Julian Cope, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Track there called Doomed from Julian Cope, and our own Mark Percival was more than passably chuffed to meet up with one of his great heroes and talk to Julian backstage at the Fringe Club in Edinburgh last Friday.